Project Baltimore is sponsored by the Snyder Law Group. Don't just sue them, Snyder them.
Tonight, Maryland school systems spending your tax dollars on hiring consultants to learn how to spend your tax dollars.
It sounds a bit bizarre. As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, a recent audit by the Inspector General for Education found that's exactly what happened.
Knowing how much money that was earmarked for this program, we thought it was very important.
Rick Henry is the Maryland Inspector General for Education. On Tuesday, his office released this report, which raises serious questions about how local school systems are spending your tax dollars.
The blame has to be placed on MSDE because they were the ones who were running the program.
A few years ago, lawmakers in Annapolis passed the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, which pumped billions of additional dollars into public education. One of the programs the Blueprint created was the Concentration of Poverty Grant, which provides extra funding to schools in areas with high rates of poverty and crime. The money is intended for health care and other social services, but the IG found millions of dollars from that grant went unused because the Maryland State Department of Education did not train school systems on how to spend it.
MSDE had to hold all the responsibility in this because the local school systems were just crying for help. How do we spend this? What do we spend it on? And they weren't getting any response from MSDE.
From fiscal years 2020 to 2022, Henry says the program issued $233 million to school systems statewide. This audit only looked at 8 of Maryland's 24 school systems and found $12.3 million from the grant went unused. But what about the rest of the $233 million? Why was much of it used right away? Henry says many school systems hired consultants to study the law and train them on how to spend the money. The exact amount spent on consultants is not known because those consultants also performed other tasks.
Some of the school systems were able to spend the money because they spent money to hire people to train them on how to spend the money.
Yes, if you want to say it in that way, yes, they hired individuals to train them that were a program that was managed by MSDE.
Remember, the IG's audit only looked at these 8 schools. Baltimore City and Prince George's County, the 2 districts with the most high poverty schools, were not included, which raises the question, could it be more than $12 million that went unspent for years because the state did not properly train the school systems on how to spend it?
It could be a larger problem. Of course it could be.
MSDE has recently come under new leadership. In October, following a series of Project Baltimore reports into his leadership, then State Superintendent Mohammed Chaudhry stepped down. A few weeks later, Dr. Carrie Wright took over as interim superintendent. Henry's report issues a series of recommendations for MSDE, which includes improving how it monitors the Concentration of Poverty Grant to ensure the funds are not misallocated. MSDE says it has already implemented some of the recommendations, and it plans to implement most all of the rest of them.
They were very cooperative during all parts of this process. They responded. They actually have a audit company or an audit provider who is looking at this right now, and we're going to wait and see what they come up with.
I'm Chris Papst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Well, Project Baltimore wants to hear from you. Do you have a story to share about your child's education or a concern you'd like our team to investigate? Call the tip line on your screen or send an email to projectbaltimore@foxbaltimore.com. You can also find us on social media.
I'm Chris Papst. Thanks for watching. Here's another story to watch. Also, if you have a story idea, please send us a message.